Three, two. Hi, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Asgardian Pub Podcast. This is episode number 3, and we uh we were supposed to have a special guest tonight. Kind of fell through. An emergency came up for him at his job, so he sadly couldn't make it. Which is okay. We could still move on. He'll just be on another time.
Yep, unfortunately, life happens.
Yes, it does. Yeah. How are those storms, Mr. Dreadthor?
Well, thankfully over. Um, as I called you earlier and was informing you of what was going on here, it immediately picked up. Like it went from "Hey, I'm calm" to "Haha, it's raining sideways."
Yeah, it definitely did a huge downpour here. It pretty much how would you say it? Pretty much rained sideways. I mean, my grandfather's neighborhood has a ton of trees down, and usually when that happens, it's a pretty good storm.
The
I
biggest thing I,
tried.
the biggest thing I heard of was a semi rolled over on the interstate.
I didn't hear anything about that. I mean, there is a line of power lines that have been snapped um, just about 20 minutes away from my house.
Now, was that due to the wind or was that due to like a tree falling on it?
Wind, wind.
Damn.
They actually reported that the storm was actually moving 100 miles an hour,
Yeah,
which I have never heard a storm move that fast.
it didn't last long here at all. Like it was
No,
maybe an hour at most.
it was a monster, but the storm itself like started picking up speed just shortly after it flew through. So yeah, it was definitely a wicked one. I mean, I'm glad we didn't lose power because I mean we wouldn't have an episode tonight, right?
Right. Like I was a little worried there for a little bit. Then next thing I know, all the it was crazy because like as fast as it came in, it was just as fast leaving.
Oh yeah, 100%. So Hearthstone came out with an update this week. I know you don't play as much of the standard Hearthstone as what I do. It yeah, the Emerald Dream came out. We have a new expansion out. I'm starting to collect the cards so that way I can create a meta deck, but I don't know how to feel about some of these new hero powers. I'll not hero powers, but new name powers. The Battlegrounds is still the same, which is shocking. I thought they would have maybe updated it, but they haven't updated yet, which is kind of disappointing to me. But at the same time, usually it's about 2 weeks after the whole expansion releases, they drop a new update for Battlegrounds. Um, so I'm hoping they change something up because I don't mind the new what do you call it? I don't mind the wild cards, but to be honest, it's uh it's kind of tedious in some games. The make all minions gold is kind of annoying because at the same time, yes, it's gold minion and you're getting twice of what their normal ability was. It's the fact that when you play it, you can't eliminate some of the pieces on your board that you need unless you get rid of one of your minions, which, like I said, is gold. So when you have 3 of them, you can keep leveling up stuff at the same time as putting new minions on the board and working around them. But how do you feel about the wildcard system there, Dreadthor? I mean,
I personally like it. It gives it a nice little twist to the game, and I personally like the gold aspect of it. When that one, um, there are times where you're sitting there, you're trying to get a third item, so you don't really want to upgrade your tavern because if you upgrade your tavern, it means you have less of a chance of actually getting that third card you may need. But at the same time, you need to upgrade your tavern because everything going on.
Yeah, I mean, I get that a lot, and I mean it's enjoyable. I can't wrap my head around having so many gold minions. Like you don't get the uh what do you call it? The gold prize card where you get a minion from a tier higher than your tavern is. Like I understand like gold minions are fun to play, yada yada. I just don't understand how people like the aspect of, oh, I have a gold minion already, but yet you're not getting the reward for said gold minion. You know what I mean?
I think you're just like I think the biggest thing you have an issue with it. In all honesty, this is my speculation, is you're not getting the full thrill of it.
Yeah.
You don't get that enjoyment of finally I got that third one.
Yep. I I'm the old school Battlegrounds player. I mean, I played Battlegrounds when it first dropped. I don't know about Dreadthor
Nope.
because I think I got you back into Hearthstone
Pretty
shortly after we met.
pretty much, yeah. I got out of it because like none of my friends at the time were playing it, and it was just like, okay, so now here I am, getting off work, and I'm almost 3K solo.
Yeah. I to me Hearthstone has always been like a love-hate relation with me. Um I was never big into like the meta deck builds. I always built my own decks and I almost made it to champion using my own style of deck, and that was a buff mech for Paladin, which was beyond amazing. It was
Just realized
how do you
something.
what's that?
I forgot to change this to podcast.
Oops. But at the same time, it was uh it was fun. Like I ran a mech deck that literally toppled everyone because it would just magnetize and magnetize and magnetize. And then when people would just destroy all the magnetizations, there was that one spell where it would rebuild the magnetizations that you had on the board and brought them back to life. It was it was definitely a goaded goaded deck at the time because I had gadgets and brawl, and I had a couple of the mechs from oh god, what one was that? It was the one with like Doctor Doom and all that. I forget which or expansion that was, but that one was absolutely god tier. And actually, I'll tell you in just a second of which one that was. It was way before Descent of Dragons. It was the Doomsday Project. That and the Kobolds and Catacombs and Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, god tier wild decks, in
Sounds
my
like it.
opinion. What's up?
I said it sounds like it.
Oh, 100% was.
Let's see here.
Another thing with Hearthstone's new imbued hero power, that's the hero power I do not understand yet as I'm casually playing. Because like the imbue for Druid, every time you cast a spell, it upgrades like a Trent, and it basically just keeps growing and growing every time you cast two spells. Well, I don't know how to imbue the mage without just the battle cry. Like I feel like Druid legendary is just absolutely broken at this point. It needs to I don't know, it's gonna need a nerf here at some point because I keep playing that against that in casual decks.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to sit down and really look at the primary game functions of Hearthstone since there. It's been a while. I think the last time I looked at the primary game functions was with you when I first got back into it.
Oh yeah. I I just I just play wild. I mean, I love playing with every single card in the game. Like I don't mind the standard with just the 3 sets, but I feel like you're gonna get the best enjoyment when you're playing with every single card in the game itself. Because, and why I say this is because you can build some crazy decks
If you
with
have the
every
cards,
yeah, with all the expansions. You're going to be able to build some of the most amazing decks, and there's a variety. I mean, when you're playing in standard, you're just playing against the same deck over and over and over again, or you're playing against a B tier deck over and over again. When in Wild, you're playing against who knows what. Like I play a Cthulhu Druid, which
so essentially you have your modern, which would be the standard, and then you have standard, which is the wild.
yeah, pretty much. Um,
For all the Magic the Gathering people out there,
oh yeah, I forgot.
give you a little bit of comparison.
We definitely have a lot of fans of Magic, the Gathering that follow us. I
I mean,
see a lot of.
it's definitely a card game that's been around for a long time, so a lot of people will understand the comparisons and stuff like that for it.
By the way, for the first time listeners, we do have a affiliation with Boxed. You can use code Dreadthor or Loki underscore XG. Just use my Twitter or Twitch name, and you can get some gems, an extra 5% of gems every purchase you make. But if you go to Boxed and you're a Magic player, I definitely head over there because you can definitely get the what is it, the Black Lotus that is like the most expensive card in Magic right now.
Have you ever
Pretty
held
sure.
one?
No.
I have. I've held a rated 9 Black Lotus.
So on Boxed you can actually get a 10 rated. But I'm
Good
gonna
luck.
warn you.
Good luck.
I'm gonna warn you guys. It is so 1,000 gems is $10. This card is over. I think it was what 400 million or something like that just to get it. Which in the scheme of things, I think is like $40,000 or $50,000.
Let's see here.
And
Boxed. Let's
and
switch to Magic the Gathering.
which in general is like 40 grand, which is absolutely insane. Um, I couldn't justify myself to pay for that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's I get the collector item, but I don't know. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it.
I,
um
I mean, no.
another thing
Honestly, if I got that card, shoo.
another thing with box though too is if you're a Pokemon hunter like me, or even a One Piece collector, or a
I will do
Lorcana or
this.
MTG collector, I'd hop on over there and start logging in every half hour.
I'm bringing this up on the screen right now. They have this going on every day. You can get free daily rewards where you just spin the wheel, and you have a chance to get up to 5 from one gym to 512.
Yep.
Um,
And the percentages of how much that wheel has determines on how much you spend in boxes in 2 weeks.
and then let's see here. Let me minimize this a little bit and widen it out, so that way y'all can actually fully see it. Um,
And we are live over on Dreadthor's Twitch. You can find him at Dreadthor. And he's
Twitch.tv
also on
slash
Kick.
Dreadthor, kick.com slash Dreadthor, Twitter or X at Dreadthor. But like you were saying, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Counter Strike, One Piece, Arcana. Then they also have this thing where, like, let's see if I can get it in the full photo. Sorry about my phone. I forgot to turn it on silent. Um, where it'll pop up and it'll say "Count me in," and when it does that, it gives you a chance for free gems, and possibly up to 50 of them. So let's see here. Like if we go over here to my inventory, Loki's inventory is a lot better than mine. So if you ever get a chance, like I have this right now. So
I have if I go to my inventory, I've got a Mewtwo, a Mew, and these are all hollows. And the Mewtwo is actually from 151, which if anyone hasn't seen me on stream complaining about wanting some 151 cards, I'm desperate to even like find some right now, but I'm not paying the scalper price.
So for everybody on here, you can check this out. I'll just do a box opening for y'all.
I am on a strict hunt for 151s, and it's just it's been a blast trying to find some. It's been a blast trying to find any type of Pokemon card, to be honest with you. I was actually lucky the other day to find, and I mean to find, a Twilight Masquerade Elite Trainers box.
Very nice.
And for anyone that doesn't know yet, I'm actually opening a pack of Pokemon cards or any type of collector's card every Friday during my stream. So it's kind of interesting on what I pull half the time. The other day, I actually pulled a double hitter, which was a Kyurem V full art and a Chunkachu.
I'm trying to get him to start a little YouTube channel for card opening.
If you guys talk me into that, then maybe I will. But I need to get a steady income for that. So right now I've got about 17 weeks worth of Pokemon cards to open, just packs.
Well, just open them, do that price thing I told you, and make videos out of it. Easy,
Well, yes,
easy peasy lemon squeezing.
I'm only doing it once a week though. That's every Friday. So yeah, I do that every Friday over there on my channel. Like I said, you guys can find me at Loki_XG, spelled with a 0, not a O. But yeah, back to Hearthstone, because Mr. Dreadthor here is trying to catch up to me on the MMR rating on Battlegrounds, because last I checked, I'm almost at 5,500.
Well, last time I showed you, I was at what 2,000.
2,000. Yeah.
And now I'm almost at 3,000.
Yep. I'm gonna say this, but it's gonna change here in about 2 weeks. So
that's
you got
fine.
2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to catch up.
Well, let's just say this: someone has a little bit more time than someone else, that they can do something that you can't.
Yeah, I know.
Like play it on their phone.
I play it on the phone all day at work, so it's okay. Lunch and break time. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be playing Hearthstone this week as much either. I know, only because, and I say this only because
You need a laptop.
Wednesday is gonna be a very busy, and I mean a very busy content day for me.
Oh,
Verdansk is coming back,
ah,
and you know, a boy who started out on Warzone. I didn't start COD on Warzone. I started COD on the big red one, but for battle royales, Warzone was where I started, and I fell in love with Warzone. Granted, I hated all the cheaters, but I definitely loved it.
H1Z1.
I mean, I played PUBG. I can't really say Warzone was my first battle royale because PUBG did come out. But on the side note of everything that went through, PUBG was hit or miss for me. I just felt the movement was very clunky when it first came out on the Xbox and all that. So I was like, I'm
It
not
was
gonna.
very clunky when it came out for PC.
They updated it. I actually re-downloaded PUBG and was playing it with my buddy last night. It is actually a lot smoother now.
I mean, I hope so. It's been out for a while.
10 years now, I think. Yeah,
Sorry, I got hit with the age.
that's like Hearthstone just hit 10 years too, which is absolutely crazy to think of. And I mean, if we really want to go about our age and all that, not Gears of War, Modern Warfare 4, which was the first Call of Duty to introduce multiplayer, uh, that came out in, I do believe, '05 or '06.
Call it Modern Warfare 4?
Yeah.
No, it was Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2.
No, I'm saying that's if you really want to be old. Modern Warfare Modern Warfare 4 came out in 2007. Yeah.
I graduated in 2007.
I graduated in 15. It's okay.
Yeah, Jesus, young people. Um, let's
Yeah.
see here. I got to do this now since you brought it up. First, Call of Duty to have online multiplayer. The first Call of Duty game to feature online multiplayer was Call of Duty United Offense, released in 2004 as an expansion pack for the original Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm talking like what we know now of COD, like perks, kill streaks, attachments.
Hey, you said Call of Duty. You didn't say anything about the extra shit. So
I mean, that
I'm just saying the original multiplayer was an expansion pack.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if we really want to clarify that, yes, it was, but it was for the original Call of Duty. I mean, they missed the big red one. uh, I miss, out of all the games that were out, and we touched a base a little bit about this on the last episode of the podcast, was Medal of Honor. I really miss Medal of Honor being a game to play.
Oh yeah, I loved Medal of Honor. Like that was my go-to game back in the day. Like
Medal of Honor.
I personally didn't play it on. I don't think Medal of Honor had an online whenever I was playing it. Um, but the story and everything about it was so fucking good.
Medal of Honor on. I think it was Frontline that I first played Medal of Honor and fell in love with it. That one was real good, especially the D-Day, the D-Day landing scene. Yeah, it was Medal of Honor Frontline. The D-Day landing scene was epic in that game.
Like, I miss a good storyline when it comes to games.
I do too. You know what else is pretty awesome as well is the and for classic games making a comeback was 007 GoldenEye. The first ever FPS.
Uh, Calling you out on that one.
Okay. Let me rephrase this. The first ever extremely popular FPS that changed the FPS world. Because I mean, yeah, you had Doom.
Well, now I'm wondering because when you look up GoldenEye, I want to know when GoldenEye came out. I'm gonna look up another game.
Maze War was the first FPS. Hmm. But that was in 1973.
Wolfenstein came out May 5th in 1992 for the PC.
Huh. That would
And
that would
the reason I bring that up at all is because I remember playing that in school during my free time.
Yeah, GoldenEye came out in 1997.
So it was the first console FP. Well, actually, no. The Honestly, I think the first console FPS was Duck Hunt.
But was that really FPS though?
It was
Because
definitely a first-person shooter.
hold on, we gotta look this up now because you know.
hey, if they say Duck Hunt is not a first-person shooter, there's an issue.
Um it says it clarifies as a FPS, but let's see here. That's a different game than Duck Hunt. That one's duck hunting. Uh
Let's see here.
is Duck Hunt FPS? I don't know about this one. It says Duck Hunt is a fast-paced hardcore FPS where you play as a bloodthirsty duck.
Duck Hunt is a first-person shooter game with moving on-screen targets firing the NES Zapper light gun at a CRT television screen. The player selects the game mode, one or two targets appear, and the player has 3 attempts to hit them before they disappear.
Yep. You know what's real crazy?
Is you wouldn't be able to play it on today's TVs?
Well, that and the fact that I have that gun and the game. But the gun that it came in with me was orange.
Mm-hmm. Most of them were orange. There was occasion like they didn't start making the aftermarket not aftermarket but different color ones until later on.
Like the gray one.
Yeah, the gray one didn't. So like the gray one came out if you got Duck Hunt with the NES, and the orange one came with. Oh, you jerk! I just saw that pop up. And then the orange one came if you bought the game.
Hmm. Yeah, I got the orange one. And I've got the what's the other one I got?
How many times are you gonna make me do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Uh, it's gonna come back for you.
Don't worry.
There's two. Three?
Yeah, I got the old school NES still.
Oh god, that's cold.
I also have oh god, what was it? I also got the SNES too. Like the old school Mario Kart was fun. I have um what do you call it? I have shoot, I can't even think of
17 times?
it. Yep. And
For all of you who are wondering why I'm saying 17 times, Loki came in with 17 hydrates.
ring ring ring. I I think it's kind of funny that we banter each other back and forth, but yet we ping out all these drinking emotes, the hydrate emotes.
Well, on the plus side, at least we're making sure our kidneys are clean.
Oh yeah. Did you I don't know if you saw this the other day, but Switch 2.
You really need to do something with that background tread. Well, you know what? Buy me a place that has a spare room, and I'll put up my green screen. I ain't got the room for it.
I yeah. I enjoy the blurriness with the Green Bay Packers blanket going in and out. No, we just had a Nintendo Direct. Saw that we're getting a Switch 2 coming out this year.
That irritates me.
Why is that?
Because Nintendo is. I'm calling them out. I'm doing it. Which my coworker in my chat right now disagree with me on this.
Mm-hmm.
They're being money grubby whores. Nintendo is. Because they came out with the Switch. They came out with the Switch OLED.
Yep.
The Switch 2 is not OLED.
It's an LCD this time.
It's not OLED. OLED's better than LCD.
So it's got a here. I got the specs pulled up right now.
Before you go into that though, here's the thing. This is what they're planning to do. I guarantee it. Right? They're going to come out with this Switch. Everybody's going to buy it. Then they're going to come out with the Switch 2 OLED.
Yeah.
They're just doing it to get people to spend more money. It's the same concept as like the Xbox Slim, the Xbox this, the PlayStation Slim. You know what I mean? Like, now if they would have just came out with the OLED, I'd be down. I'd be like, all right, let's buy it. But no, it bugs me.
Okay, you ready for the specs on this? So it's got a NVIDIA custom Tegra T239 processor. And it's basically the processing power of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Which is pretty cool considering it's handheld.
Yes. And it will have 720p resolution visuals up to 4K when docked using learning techniques. Now, the storage of it is actually pretty amazing, if you ask me. It will still support the expandable storage via SD cards, but now you're going to have cards up to 2 terabytes.
So, Amaya, my Switch is not OLED either. Okay? And if I'm going to upgrade to the Switch 2, I want the OLED screen. Because why upgrade from this to another thing that the only difference is processing power? That's it. You know what I mean?
So
So it's just like I want a better screen resolution and everything like that. Like I don't plan on buying the Switch 2 until they come. I am, but I'm saying as my personal opinion that when it comes down to it, they should have started out with the OLED, and then they could have come out with other different features and stuff for the tier 2.
so what I think is pretty cool about the new Switch though too is the fact that Call of Duty is actually coming to the Switch, which is the first time since I do believe it was the 3DS, or no, it might have been Wii U.
There was a Call of
Uh,
Duty on Game Boy, I remember.
yes. No, it was the Switch.
No,
So the last
I remember having a cartridge for Call of Duty.
so the last Call of Duty on Nintendo was in 2013, and that was Call of Duty Ghost,
Yeah.
and that was the Wii U. Um, Call of Duty is actually coming back to Nintendo, and I also don't know if anyone has heard yet, but Xbox did the big middle finger to PlayStation, which is absolutely hilarious.
What they do?
Um, so Xbox has agreed to start sending some of its what do you call it? Their exclusives over to PlayStation. Well, with that being said, PlayStation was like, okay, you guys can do that, but you're not getting any of my games. Call of Duty came out, or not Call of Duty. Microsoft Microsoft came out of the woodworks and out of nowhere, pretty much straight out of left field at this point, with the phrase that, well, we may not have your exclusives, but our customers are still going to be able to play your exclusives on our console. Well, come to find out, Call of or not Call of Duty. I got to get Call of Duty out of my head. um, Microsoft has basically made it to where Steam is now partnered with them, which then is bringing all PlayStation um exclusives and games to the Xbox.
Very
So
nice.
that is that is something new, which is absolutely awesome. Like you're going to be able to play PlayStation games on Xbox.
You know, there is something I am really curious about that's coming out.
What's up?
Now, this hasn't been fully confirmed yet, which I'm hoping it is. It will come out, and Microsoft will do their full announcement. But the Xbox handheld,
Hmm.
they're saying it's going to be better than the Asus ROG and all the other handhelds that are out there because it's going to have full support of
That is
Microsoft and
true.
stuff behind it. So I'm really, really curious on how it's going to be brought out, what it's going to look like, how it's going to run, and yeah, I think in all honesty, if Xbox does it right, it's going to be an extreme competitor to the Switch.
Hmm. I think I think in the long scheme of things, with um with Xbox having a handheld, they might, and with them being Microsoft, they might go the kind of like Steam route for um their handheld.
Yeah, especially considering they're partnering with Steam right now.
Yep.
Like, I mean, the Steam Deck, you know what I mean? That's already out.
Yep. And it's still a loved handheld, to be honest with you. My uncle has one and he absolutely loves the thing.
One of my coworkers has one, and I've gotten to try it out, and it's nice. Um, one of my biggest things is when it comes to these handhelds that are pretty much, computers.
Yeah.
Um, I want freedom of use.
As
And
in,
like okay, so easiest way for me to describe it for the games I play. On RuneScape, you can play it via the download for the website, or you can play it through another program called RuneLite.
mm,
And I play mine through RuneLite, which allows me to have certain modifications to the game. I want to be able to download that and be able to play that through that.
hmm.
And, like I just want the freedom and availability to be able to do that without certain types of restrictions, not having to jailbreak it or something like that.
So with the Steam Deck, anything that you have on Steam is what you play.
And
For
see, like you can put RuneScape on Steam. Speaking of RuneScape, did you get your new stream assets for me? Yes, I did. I actually just uploaded them to Kick not too long ago. Um, but you're only able to play one character if you go through Steam. Like I can't play
yeah,
multiple characters, and then you're playing it through the basic, um, what's it called, UI or
I
interface.
see. I
So
see. Your mic's muted.
my mic's muted.
Oh, never mind. I
You got me confused there. Like I didn't touch anything.
didn't hear anything. If you were talking, like you stopped and then like it just went quiet.
Um, but yeah, I just want more availability when it comes down to the usage of the handhelds and whatnot. I feel like when it comes down to them, like Steam, it's understandable. It's built for Steam.
Yep.
Um, all right, be safe getting to work. But it's just like the ROGs and everything like that. I don't know if I've heard people say you can do it. Um, but with the price point at which the handheld is and everything, it's just like, do I take the risk and try it, or you know what I mean? It's an
Yeah.
expensive risk to possibly not be able to do what I want to do.
Yep. I I think it's just kind of interesting that we're getting a lot of new what do you
Devices.
call it? Yeah, new handhelds, new systems, all this in a matter of like a year of one another. Um and what I mean by that is we're getting a new Xbox next year. We're also getting a new PlayStation next year.
It doesn't feel like the
And
PlayStation and the Xbox have been out that long.
it's been 6 years now.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't feel like it's been out that long.
Yeah, it's like every 7 years they come out with a new system, which I find hilarious. And what's also I'm curious about with the whole Xbox Direct is the Gears of War. I am I am hyped up for Gears of War E Day because being a Gears fan, going back to the roots and what Gears was built on is like almost like a golden apple that you find in the middle of nowhere. Because the last two Gears games, don't get me wrong, like I play Gears for the campaigns. Okay. I never played the multiplayer, but the last two Gear games weren't that good campaign wise, in my opinion. They were kind of short, kind of how would you say it? Kind of like kind of
For
predictable.
I just got to
Yes.
say this for the people who are just listening to this. His facial reaction to this was like a I have to poop, but I don't know if I need to poop.
So the last couple of games have been very predictable campaign wise. With like the first Gears, it was pretty much almost unpredictable of like when an emergence hole was going to happen or when a wretch or something was going to pop out at you. Like the newest game was extremely predictable and you can tell where when things are going to happen. Um Plus they weren't that very horror-esque like the original Gears. It wasn't dark. Um it wasn't how would you say it? It wasn't horror style. Like there was no jump scares, kind of like some of the old Gears of War stuff. There's no um like I don't even know what you would call them, but the locusts in the aftermath, they're they're not even like horror looking. They just look like a bunch of muscular aliens. That's about it. Like when you look at Gears of War, the originals, like there was a ton of like graphical monsters in that game. Not only for like the boomers or the Cantus or um, the Brumox or the Reavers, things like that. Like that is what made Gears of War so fun to play was the aspect of you're facing uh these alien like creatures that don't look anywhere compared to humans and now you have these, let's just say the new locust look almost exactly human style
Humanoids.
just with just with an alien face. I mean their body's just muscular, it's pink, that's about it. Like when you look at the locust they were all gray scaled out. The teeth were all like sharp looking. Brumox had the four or the two eyes, but they were just mutated apes from the underground. I mean, when you delve into like the Gears of War um, lore and all that, like you can that was a complete story. I mean, then when you go to Gears um 4 and Gears 5, it's like, yeah, we're following Reyna around who is Queen Mira's granddaughter, but you don't know like the full story and the aspect until I mean the end of Gears 5. So, I don't know how they're going to tie Gears 6 in whenever they want to release that.
I just hope it's actually kind of hard.
What's that?
The gameplay. Like whenever I played the last Gears, it was super easy, even on the hardest mode.
Oh yeah. I mean, and then when you had like Gears 1 when you had to face the Krill. I mean, even if you like go into the Krill even on the easiest mode, like yeah, it was two taps and you're dead. When you go in the hardcore mode, it's 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 one tap you're dead. Um that's what I think was cool about the original Gears of War was like just the dark scenes, dark timeline, dark the dark enemies. Um just like there was so much character modeling they did for those original games and then now you just have almost like a reskin of like all the original characters into like almost the same storyline but not, but
so,
who knows.
so everybody listening and whatnot, I'm gonna sum it up for you. Loki misses. It was down with the darkness, and he misses the darkness.
Yes, I am the epitome of darkness, the dark side.
now you're not in high school anymore.
No, the other game I wish they would like really delve into a good storyline is Halo. Halo needs a major break for storyline. Like I get why or how this one ties in, I do, but they really need to go back and delve into some nostalgia stuff.
Nostalgia.
Because so and what I mean by that is with Halo Wars, I think it was Halo Wars 2. It was the doctor. I forget her name, but she ends up on the Halo ring that appears in what was it? Halo 5 or Infinite? One of the two. No, Infinite you're fighting on the Halo ring. So that is where the Spirit of Fire and all that is. So that's going to entail that hey, the um we have caught up in the storyline from Halo Wars to the actual Halo series, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but where's the Spartans from um, Halo Wars? Where is the um, Doctor from Halo Wars? Where is the Spirit of Fire? Like, yes, we have what was it? The um, I can't think of the name for what was the ship in the original Halo that he's on? That he's always on. Anyways,
Like the name of the ship?
yeah, wasn't it something Dawn? Clicky clack.
The Pillar of Autumn.
Yes. So he was always on that ship. So what happened to it in after Halo 5?
Let's see if there's anything on the interwebs about it.
Like I get Atriox destroyed it, but how did Atriox get to them and so on and so forth? You know what I mean? Like what happened to the Spirit of Fire? What happened to um all those guys?
John 117 and Cortana escaped the subsequent detonation in the ring aboard a longsword fighter still docked in Launch Base 7. Pillar of Autumn exploded moments after their escape, blowing up a segment of the ring, causing the entire halo to fall apart, ultimately destroying Installation 04.
Okay. So that's what happened to it.
It went boom.
Cortana.
Boom, boom, baby. Ooska little lady.
I loved Halo 3. I'm gonna be really honest with you as well for everyone that's listening or watching us live on chat. The first ever Halo game I ever played was Halo 3.
Blasphemy.
I know, right? Everyone was like, "Oh my god, you should totally play the rest of the Halo games." It's like, no, no, no.
And then you went back and you were like, oh, damn. I should have.
No, I went to back to Gears of War. Like I said, man, I've always been a Gears of War fan. It's just
Have you played Halo 1 and 2?
I have not. Me and a buddy were. I bought the Halo Master Chief Collection. My buddy had been talking to me about playing all the Halo games, just going through and doing them, but
Oh.
I just never could get into it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Master Chief. Like, I love how badass he is, but at the same time, it's like I don't know if I can play it. Like, especially on old school Xbox graphics.
I just can't get over the fact you haven't played 1 and 2. Um, I've
No.
I've played Halo 1 and 2, and I was a PlayStation guy.
See, one thing that I didn't like that PlayStation had was resistance. I really wanted to play that game, but I just could never get into it or never could play it because I didn't have a PlayStation.
I still can't get over the fact that I haven't played 1 and 2. Like, that's really bothering me right now. Like, you need to play Halo 1 and 2.
Maybe I'll play it live on stream one day. I'll re-download it and play it.
You need to. Like, to
I'll try
really
it out.
fully understand the storyline, like, you got to.
I'll check it out. I'll see what I can do.
You know what you need to do?
What's up?
Retro Friday.
Retro Fridays where I just go and play a retro game.
Yeah.
We can do that. I've got a couple retro games I can play. Dark Souls.
Also, if you guys are wondering what I'm drinking, it is Freshen Up, and we are partaking in the Freshen Up Citrus Stem Shot, which, if I could get it to focus without, there we go.
We're both affiliated with Freshen Up too. So if you guys would like to get your hands on some, head on over to freshenuphydration.com. Use code DreadThor or use code L0KI_XG, which would give you a
10%
10%
off.
off your order.
Sorry, got to put those plugs in occasionally.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and other news as well is you want to feel old? We got the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith coming up. I was 8 when that movie came out. Well, technically 9.
Wait, 20 years ago, I was 16.
14, 16.
I'm 36.
Yep. 16. I was
I was driving.
I was 9.
Loki
I
was
was
still on the bottle.
definitely not still on the bottle, but definitely young, I would say. It's
Oh man.
yeah, it's been a
I
long time. I remember going to see it in theaters, to be honest with you.
I remember talking about it with friends.
all I could all I can picture is Obi-Wan just jumped on. Hello there. And let's not forget, I have the high ground, Anakin. we all we all love Obi-Wan. Now
You're making me feel old
now,
today.
now what I do love though, and speaking of Obi-Wan, is the fact that I love Ewan McGregor coming back and portraying a older Obi-Wan between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. That to me is epic that they did that.
All right,
Like,
so we have to do this. You
what's
brought
up?
it up. How do you properly watch Star Wars?
What do you mean? How do you properly watch Star Wars?
Yeah, how do
You
you
have to watch.
go
You
ahead?
gotta watch. You gotta watch it all in chronological order, duh. And that's going from sadly the worst show possible that happened in the High Republic, which was oh god, what was the name of that one? You know which one I'm talking about too, because it was
Does
Damn it.
anybody else in chat feel disappointment?
Why? Why do you feel disappointed?
Because you don't watch it in chronological order.
I do.
No.
You don't start off with A New Hope.
You watch 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Because
You
3,
mean
4, 5 came out first.
like yes, yes.
That's how you watch it.
And it wasn't 3, 4, 5, just so you're aware. It was 4, 5, 6.
Still, you know what I meant. The disappointment has me all confused now.
No. I'm trying to think of what that last show was that just tanked so badly. The Acolyte. There we go.
Most of the Disney versions.
Yeah, yeah, for real. The only exception to the Disney versions was the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and Andor. Anything like after that has been like okay, let me rephrase this. If it's not The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Andor, any live action that they've tried doing has been horrible.
You know,
AKA The Acolyte.
for the Star Wars fans out there, I may get a lot of criticism for this. Never watched The Mandalorian.
Um actually you're missing quite a bit of like actual storyline.
Oh, I know. Just never watched it.
It's good. You should check it out. Um just don't watch The Acolyte. And this is coming from a guy who is open-minded to like Star Wars and all that. But that show was like horrible. And it's not because of like the sisters or anything like that or like the whole love story. It was the fact that there was like very little lightsaber duels and the fact that they like didn't even go off of like the OG High Republic and
I need you.
didn't
I
even
need you to backpedal a little bit. You said
on.
they made a Star Wars and it had very little lightsaber duels.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say it's absolutely garbage.
Now,
And
like, what
the
time frame was this based off of? Was this before lightsabers or the
no,
start of lightsabers?
this was the High Republic.
So lightsabers were a common thing within this time period.
Yes, and there was a huge ass Jedi Order, pretty much. Yeah,
Do you know how
this was
many
the
times I wanted to get up and walk away right now?
yeah. Tell me about it, man. Like, how are you gonna make a Star Wars show, put very minimal lightsaber dueling in it, let alone like the instances or backstory of like who these characters are? Because no one has any idea who these characters are or where they even came from. Like with like the Obi-Wan and all that, we got a whole background story of them. We got a whole background story of like Yaddle, who was the second uh character of the species that Yoda belongs to in the Phantom Menace. We found out why she disappeared from episode 1 to episode 2 in Tales of the Jedi. We found out why Grogu came to be in a flashback episode. Like, we know nothing of these characters in any like storyline. I feel as if they wanted to do like a High Republic quote unquote show. They should go off of the stuff that we know about. Yes, if they want to change like certain details and details of how like the characters are, yeah, be my guest. But no one's going to remember these names because they don't touch us like they do Obi-Wan or
They're just
Anakin or
the best way to
Qui-Gon,
the best way to describe it. They're just insignificant.
pretty much.
if
And
you don't give a character a story, there's no point.
and to tell you how bad the show actually was the fact that they had to bring in Darth Plagueis to actually like full on do like a little tease hide where he just like creepily like looks around a wall. Like, come on now, you guys could do way better than this. And for High Republic, like that doesn't even like fascinate us one bit. When we think about High Republic, we want like Sith Empire versus the whole Jedi Council, which was thousands of Jedi on the council board. And then the Sith Empire was literally like a full on army of Sith. That is what we need. We need someone, and that someone that I really wish is Dave Filoni, who has done all the Clone Wars. I wish he and I would love John Favreau to be like the story writer, but they should totally come out with a OG High Republic and make it to how it should have been, where it's Sith Empire versus the Jedi. And let's be honest here, I would love to see us go to the Sith homeworld and visit that for a little bit because let's be real here, it was taken over by the Republic and they took it back in the long scheme of things, and it was called Moraband.
The millennial mind. Take it back now, y'all.
Yeah, pretty much. I
In case y'all
the
you don't know, I have very severe ADHD, and when it comes to like phrases and stuff, it usually draws me to a certain type of music or phrase or something like that to it. So as the podcast goes on, you check out all the channels. You'll hear those random things from me.
and actually it was called Korriban.
Korban.
Yep. Pretty much they need to bring back that. But I think they renamed it to Moraband, which is still stupid. It was Korriban. Um but yeah, we need like a full on movie series of just that. Not even a movie series. I mean, a TV series would be pretty dope as well. Like they need to do that, and they need to do the Clone Rebellion.
That'd be interesting.
And so in Legends and um what Dave Filoni was trying to do, and I think they are doing a Clone Wars Rebellion show, but with the Bad Batch, it was Captain Rex went off to like form like a hideout base for clones who disobeyed Order 66 and have been on the run. Um and who have gotten their chips taken out as well. Well, that is like the prerequisite of starting a rebellion. So I'm just hoping they start going towards like that storyline too. That would honestly be a godsend of fan, how would you say it, fan appreciation, fan,
Service.
yeah, fan service, there we go. But that to me would be awesome, but that's my opinion. What are you chuckling at?
Yo.
uh, I can go on with Star Wars for days upon days. I mean, I am the biggest Star Wars nerd when it comes to everything.
Oh man, sorry about that. Yeah, like when it comes down to it, Star Wars and stuff like that, I do enjoy it. Uh, Not like in-depth fan or anything like that. I couldn't tell you a bunch of the backstories and whatnot. I've watched probably I've seen all the movies,
Oh,
but
I think we all have seen all of them. And let's be honest here, 7, 8, 9, worst Star Wars movies ever.
I'm gonna keep that opinion to myself. I'm not digging on any type of holes in the community in that type of community. Um,
I'm pretty sure the community would all agree with me on that one.
Still keeping my mouth shut on that one. I know when to hold them and fold them.
And the only reason why I say they're such trash movies is because if you watch the first three movies, and I'm talking A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Revenge of the Sith, or not Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and like completely watch those and then watch the new ones, you'll sit there and be like, oh my god, the first one is basically a remastered New Hope. And then you go to episode 6 and you compare it to The Empire Strikes Back. Oh my god, it is the same exact thing. And then you go to the third one and you sit there and watch both of them in comparison and be like, oh my god, they're destroying another satellite. Whoop de doo. It's the same thing. Yeah. I can go on for hours on just those movies alone. Like they literally copied and pasted the storyline of all three of those movies and threw it into whatever that is. And I'm gonna say this right now. I don't mind the live action like vehicle scenes and all that. But bring back the CGI scenes where we had cool space battles like Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Jedi, or bring back cool cool like actual scenes of inside a Millennium Falcon or something like that without having a CGI background. Like you can tell some of them backgrounds were CGI'd, but then when you go back to like the old school, it was like real.
Yes, an actual built set.
Yes. Like they used built sets of the vehicles, but they didn't. And I think that's what kind of irritates me. And then like all the suits that the First Order were wearing, like in every episode that you saw, looked brand new. Like, okay, if you're an army and you're battling people, your armor should not look brand new. Just saying. It's gonna look dingy as hell. And if you go back to like uh Return of the Jedi and the scenes of where they're fighting on Endor and Han, Leia, and them got captured by the Empire, a lot of the stormtroopers had scuffs on their armor. The scout troopers even had scuffs on their armor. Like they made it look like they had
Been in a
battle
battle.
wear on them. Yeah. But then when you look at the First Order, it's like, huh, you guys were in battle, but
You don't even have a
your
speck of
armor,
mud.
yeah, your armor's like super clean. And okay, so it was a trash movie, but the Solo movie, like I get it. We didn't need it, but it was kind of like a just a filler. But when you look at when Han was battling in the actual, and this is kind of actually cool how they did it, the Empire's infantry, like their first in, first, uh, kind of like their first in, first to die troops, all of them had like dingy looking armor. And a lot of it was like rebuilt to, how would you say it? Rebuilt to their perfection of work, things like that. To me, that right there shows me like they want a detail on battle. And then if you look at um what was that? Rogue One, a lot of the sand or the shore troopers had like muddy armor on them and stuff like that from battle.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of the stormtroopers didn't, but they were inside the barracks. Like they were inside of the actual base. Same with the death troopers, but the shore troopers had dirt on them because they were always on the shore patrolling.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
it's little attentions to detail like that that really expands a
Really,
movie.
yeah. It really affects how I feel about movies. Just saying.
It's also like one of the things I find like a really big pet peeve is like in the movie you'll see a scene where the actor has got like a cut down the shirt, right?
Yep.
And then next thing the cut's gone.
Yep. And that's like a lot of like car movies. Granted, I'm just gonna say it now. The Fast and Furious movies. You look at the cars, like they'll be bumping and grinding against each other, but not a single scratch of paint has been taken off of it.
Or
Like,
for some reason they have a gearbox of 500 gears.
yep. It's just kind of funny to me that the littlest detail can make or break a movie for me.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, granted, we had, for instance, like tonight, and this is kind of my fault because I didn't come up with the backup plan. But
We now you're not taking that alone. We both didn't come up with a backup plan. I'm not letting you take.
so
I'm not letting you take that hit alone.
so we were supposed to have a guest tonight, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, and yeah, we kind of just winged the shit out of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been fun talking because I mean, we came up with multiple topics in this episode of not only Star Wars from or to the Switch to
Hearthstone
Gears of
to
War,
gaming
Gears of War.
consoles.
Yeah, I mean, we went through quite a few topics actually that we didn't even think about we were going to talk about tonight.
No, I like. I'll be honest. We sat here and originally, whenever I was texted about our guest not being able to appear today, I was like, maybe we should wait until tomorrow to do our podcast, but just so that way we can come up with something.
And then I said, screw it, let's wing it. So if you guys like this podcast and you guys enjoyed it or have some opinions about it, let us know below in the comment sections, especially over there on the YouTube side when this goes live. We want to hear some feedback because would you like a scripted podcast or would you just like us to wing it where we just bullshit about everything?
And also
We just want some
everybody out there,
opinion because
um,
we're go ahead.
for everybody out there, and if you're ever curious and you can't catch the live feed like we do, every Wednesday at 8 a.m. CST, we drop our videos on YouTube.
Yep. The other thing is too is I'm always on our YouTube page, so I see all the comments, and I try getting back to all of you when I can. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing already to the podcast channel on YouTube. We've got 9 subscribers now. Much appreciated, much love, guys. Um, the other thing too is that this is our first podcast here on Spotify. We've already got 2 episodes out now, which I'm trying to figure out how to get the audio from the first 2 episodes to Spotify. For those of you that don't know, this is Dread Thor's and my like first podcast experience. Like this is our first experience trying a podcast.
I have to
So
interrupt real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
We're at 10.
Oh, we're at 10 now.
Yep.
Hell yeah! Thank you guys so much.
Much appreciated, everybody.
Um, yeah, we're still new to this, so we're learning as we go.
Like,
Um,
I know for me, I watch a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of podcasts, because I have the opportunity to do so.
oh, and
And
I love podcasts too. Like, don't get me wrong, I listened a while back, and I still listen to like old runs of it. But the Angry Chicken podcast, which was strictly a Hearthstone podcast,
um,
and right now I'm on the Unsubscribed podcast. Like, I fucking love those guys.
um, and from what I've seen and everything like that is via scripted and stuff like that. I've seen unscripted, and some of the big ones I watch is the You Should Know. If you don't know them, you should look them up. They're great. Um, and I also, Bad Friends with Andrew Santina and Bobby. I can't remember his last name.
Bobby Altoff.
Yeah. Um, check them out. Great, couple great podcasts there. And we're just trying to find our niche, what our viewers like, and stuff like that. Um, we have our first video, which that was all off the like. There was nothing scripted about that. Like
Yeah.
that first video was just off the top of our heads. This video is off the top of our heads. Our second video was the most scripted that we've done, where we did research beforehand and whatnot.
Yep. And this one was also off of our heads. This was unscripted by a long shot. So yeah, we kind of want to know what you guys
Prefer.
what yeah, what you guys prefer. We go non-scripted or scripted. Um, we would love to hear feedback from you guys, every single one of you. So and other news too, for the whole podcast and for everyone that listens over there on the YouTube side of things, and everyone that's going to be listening here on the Spotify side of things. I do have a Discord being made. I am in the process of making it for the podcast itself, so you guys can come in and actually have personal like conversations with us and come hang out with us. Um, Eventually we're going to be doing all of our podcasts in a stage channel where you can come in and hear it live from us. um, right now we're doing it live on Twitch, we're doing it live on Kick,
And soon to
and
be live on YouTube.
well, uh, I don't know about that one yet. I didn't get the info back yet from that. I didn't get the email saying we got the A-OK on that, so
I'll double check with you after podcast on that because I think we got something.
okay. And yeah, where you can come hang out one on one with us or come game with us, things like that. We are in the works of it. Um, I am also, like I said, I'm also on the stream every day. So that is
I also want to give a quick reminder that, as you guys see us on the streams, you see us on the podcast, we're both 40 plus hour blue collar working guys. So if there are times that you expect to see us and we're not there, we do have regular jobs that we do, and please be in respect that aspect of our lives as well, because we're not always going to be 100% available to the community, but when we have the opportunity, we will be there for you.
yeah. So like I got a 15-minute break first thing in the morning and then a half-hour lunch. Then I'm off the rest of the day. So I try to get back to people when I can and all that.
And for you night owls or in different countries, I work third shift. I typically am up at night in the US, and during the day, I'll get messages and stuff, but as soon as I'm up, I'm usually up by 5 p.m. CST, and I respond to my messages and stuff like that. Unless it's Loki, then I wait a couple hours.
Yeah, he doesn't like talking to me as much.
uh, but no, like one of my biggest flaws is, I'm working on getting it under control and stuff like that. But my ADHD, I will just forget to look at my phone sometimes.
Yep.
And um, typically, when I first wake up, my first thing is not to get on my computer. So the job I do, I'm looking at a computer nonstop, and when I get home, when I get off work, I'll do some more work. Then by the time I do get home, I get on the computer for a little bit, play a couple games of Hearthstone, then go to bed.
Yep. I get home usually. I have like an hour before I even start to play games or anything like that. So usually I'm just like chilling on the Discord or watching a podcast or something like that, and then I'm hopping on stream. But I'm always one message away on Discord. I'll answer you when I can, and uh, comment when I can on our YouTube channel as well. I
I will
Yeah.
also be getting the YouTube channel put onto my phone, so that way I can help out with comments and responses. So you may get a comment from Loki, you may get a comment from me, but you'll never know which
and
one it is.
and another thing too is I always have it up on my phone, so there's that as well.
Yeah, I just got to get everything. Like this is still really new, as everybody knows, considering we're only on episode 3, and we're just trying to get everything in sync between the two of us, and for the most part, we're doing really well. Loki's really good at creating these accounts and getting them looking pretty and everything like that. I'm more on the technical side when it comes to like the streaming and getting the other sources and whatnot. So we both have our parts, and it's just us getting squared away between working real life and our streams and getting everything sorted out for the podcast for y'all.
Yep. And then the other thing too is when you guys when the server does go live, I will be posting it on the YouTube side of things. I will also be posting it on my social media platforms, and I will also be posting it on the Asgardian Pub page as well on X, or as everyone calls it, Twitter. And
And I will also be doing the same whenever it's posted.
yep. So the Twitter for the page as well, guys, is um, the at it's called Asgardian Pub. That's all you got to look up, at Asgardian Pub, and head on over there and drop a follow.
I'm gonna
Usually
pull it up on screen right now so that way y'all can see it.
I'm usually posting on there, so I'm always paying attention to it.
This is the page right here. I'm gonna block Loki out there for just a second.
Oh man.
We got our page right here. Um, we're we're trying to make it as professional as possible and also have fun with it.
Oh yeah, just like our logo.
Look at that's dope. I love that. Our designer Kublik did a really good job for that.
Oh yeah, yes he did.
So, you know, go ahead and head over to Twitter or X, type in at Asgardian Pub, and give us a follow. Keep updated with what's going on. We're going to try and get more aspects of our lives out there for you, so that way you can be caught up. And if you have questions and stuff, you can message us.
Yep. So on that note, Dreadthor, take it away.
I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. You all are amazing. We appreciate every single one of you for coming by the live streams, the YouTubes. whichever platform you're coming to see us or listen to us, we appreciate you 110%. And if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be able to do this. And if you want to follow me, check out the social medias. Search up at Dreadthor on all the social medias and YouTube. That's my brand.
Yeah, and if you guys want to stay up to date with me, you can follow me at ttv_Loki over there on Twitter, or X as everyone calls it. I am on Snapchat now as well. So if you guys want to follow me there, I'm sometimes posting videos on there, just posting updates and stuff like that. You can look me up at Loki_XG. That is spelled with a 0 instead of an O in Loki. And you can also follow me on Facebook too at Loki_XG as well.
So, once again, thank you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Peace, guys.